Time. Hello, friends. My name is Frank Law, and I've been a barista now for 13 years. And the last time I competed on this stage was back in 2014, almost 10 years ago. I know, I'm a dinosaur. You know what I'm talking about, Sam. Now, a lot has changed during this time in both my career and in our industry, but the one thing I've seen consistently throughout my journey as a barista is the exponential speed at which coffee is transforming. That's precisely what I'll be focusing on today. Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a dramatic transformation in form or nature. For our journey today, let's discover how coffee transforms dramatically in taste and experience. You see, transformation is happening in every stage of the coffee story. First, we see producers working to transform a seedling into a cherry, imparting incredible potential to each seed. Next, we see roasters working to transform an insoluble, relatively flavorless substance into a soluble and aromatic coffee. And lastly, we here on the barista level work to transform these story-filled beans into a beverage to be imbibed and enjoyed by our customers. Now, just like how a caterpillar, stuck to the ground and earth around it, undergoes metamorphosis to become a stunning and beautiful butterfly that flies around the world to wherever it pleases, we too can experience metamorphosis in coffee. The coffee I'll be using today is the geisha variety from Finca Juan Martin. And I chose this coffee because it's a great example of transformation through the hands of producers. The cherries are first processed, are picked at the optimal ripeness at the farm located 20-50 meters above sea level in Cauca, Colombia. They're processed as naturals by hermetically sealing the cherries in tanks during transportation to the processing facility at Manos Juntas. They're kept in these anaerobic conditions for 24 hours. Then they're cleaned, sorted, spread out on drying beds in a solar dryer controlled by compressed air, bringing the relative humidity down from 70 to 30%. As you know, this is all done to achieve a desired flavor profile. These decisions made by the producers lend to a more controlled environment for cup clarity. And these steps introduce a new layer of transformation and show how one little change in environment can result in drastic changes in the cup, which in the case for the geisha is to call out its inherent florality and complex fruitiness. Now, with that knowledge in mind, I'm extracting this coffee at 18 grams in, 46 grams out, for 23 seconds, capturing this perfectly. This extraction lended well for this coffee because it spaced out the sweetness and acidity and highlighted florality, limiting astringency in the finish. Now, for all these reasons, judges, I want you to write down the tasting notes for today's espresso. You're going to experience a blood orange, tart cherry, orange blossom, and cacao nibs. The tactile, it's going to be light to medium in weight. It's going to have a silky mouthfeel and a lingering, pleasant finish. Now, I'm going to hand you these espressos. Please evaluate the crema, but hold off on tasting. I'm going to be introducing a new layer to this course. All right, here we go. Please evaluate crema, but hold off on tasting. Thank you. Now, I'm covering your espressos with these lids, which is going to help cool down your espresso slowly over time, preserving the delicate florals present in your coffee, also giving me a chance to talk about the coffee a little bit more. Thank you. Now, as the roaster, I had the opportunity to transform this coffee and showcase the flavors the team at Manos Juntas worked so hard to produce. I dropped this coffee at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 9.5 minutes, focusing on developing the coffees during the Meyer phase and gently gliding into first crack as to bring out the florality and juiciness of this coffee, specifically to a development time ratio of 13%, which I found the perfect balance of all the flavors. During this period, coffee is undergoing a range of chemical and physical transformations, developing new flavors and aromas. So, decisions I made during this time were vital to the transformation of this coffee, which I'm looking forward to you experiencing very, very soon. Now, as I come around and remove the lids for you, I want you to go in there immediately with your nose and smell the aroma. You're going to be greeted with a lovely floral bouquet. And I want you to go ahead and stir with your spoons back and forth 6 times like a paddle. You're going to experience the metamorphosis of this coffee up to this point. Please place your spent spoons in these cups provided for you, and all your tasting notes for this course and the rest of the courses are here on your cards for you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Thank you.
Round of applause for those espressos.
Now, we also see a transformation in coffee through the marriage of espresso and milk. And it starts with the milk I'm using. I'm calling it freeze distilled evaporated milk. Let me explain. I first froze whole organic milk and freeze distilled it down to 50% of its weight. This resulted in a creamier, sweeter milk. But I wanted something more. I wanted a deeper, caramelized sweetness to pair with the high acidity and florality of this geisha coffee, which is why, in the spirit of transformation, I evaporated the milk by simmering it for 25 minutes at 180 degrees Fahrenheit, caramelizing the sugars in the process and pushing forth a deeper sweetness. Now, this was the milk I was looking for to help transform these cappuccinos. Now, in this specific pairing, in the fats and sugars present in both the milk and the espresso, they come together to create unique low tone sweetness flavor calls. I found that this was best expressed with an extraction of 19 grams in, 26 grams out, and 20 seconds, perfectly marrying the decadent milk with this concentrated style of espresso. In your cappuccinos today, you will experience cashew milk, cardamom, cheesecake, and strawberry pocky. The texture is rich, pillowy, and has a coating finish like milkshake. There you are. Now, when coffees are roasted, they undergo a metamorphosis from a green coffee with limited to no value into a substance that is full of complexity and flavor compounds. I believe as our job as roasters is to capture these coffees at their optimal stage and present them. You see, this is especially true for me. Believe it or not, I'm actually allergic to green coffee. I have a sensitivity that causes an allergic reaction such as sneezing, itchy eyes, skin rash. It's terrible. I actually have to take medicine before I roast every single time. Specifically, there's a protein found in green coffee called alpha amylase inhibitor 1. And this protein is found in the outermost layer of the green coffee, which helps protect the seed from insects and pests. Unfortunately, it also protects it from me. However, when coffee is roasted above 200 degrees Fahrenheit, this coffee's enzymatic activity is inactivated, denaturing and transforming it into something that I can consume and enjoy. You see, judges, without this transformation through the application of heat, I wouldn't be able to do what I love, which is to taste and enjoy coffee and share this cappuccino with you today. So thank you so much. Here you are. Thank you. Thank you.
Big round of applause for those milk beverages.
Now, I want to bring it back to transformation for the signature beverage course and showcase how we as baristas are the final agents through the choices we make to create a unique tasting experience with the goal to enhance and evolve, spread its wings, if you will. For that reason, I'm calling this drink Nabia, which is Korean for butterfly. The first ingredient is the star of the show, the Finca Juan Martin I pulled earlier, but at a longer extraction of 18 grams in, 56 grams out, serving as the perfect canvas for the rest of the ingredients. I've chilled it through this hyper chiller to cool it down, but to also heighten the acidity and increase the viscosity. Next, I'm adding 3 grams of a lacto-fermented strawberry juice, which I made by adding 1 part strawberry to 2% salt, and let it ferment at room temperature for 5 days. This resulted in a concentrated strawberry flavor where just a little bit goes a long way. I chose strawberry because that has a vibrant acidity that really matched well with this geisha espresso, and it transforms that flavor of blood orange to a new grapefruit. And this ingredient represents the transformation the producers enacted onto this coffee. Next, I'm adding 20 grams of a toasted coconut simple syrup, which I made by sous videing the 2 ingredients together for 2 hours at 145 degrees, which resulted in a deep tropical toasted nutty sweetness. It added a really nice grounded sweetness to this beverage. And this ingredient represents the transformation I've made from a barista to a roaster, taking coffee in its raw form and applying heat to transform it. And it transforms the flavor of orange blossom and cacao nibs to a new lemon lime soda. And lastly, I'm adding 30 grams of a clarified geisha floral honey milk punch, which I made by adding 150 grams of milk and 150 grams of yuzu and lemon juice, which helps separate the curds from the whey. The cool thing about curds is they act as a filter to help draw out pigments and tannins. To add florality, I added 2 cups of an oolong tea, and as a balancing agent, I added 2 ounces of a floral honey. After filtering it through 20 grams of the spent geisha coffee grounds, it filtered and transformed into a clear but complex concoction, adding a refreshing complexity to this beverage. And this ingredient represents the transformation I've made from a barista to a now more complex position as a business owner. And this ingredient transforms that flavor of tart cherry to a new peach yogurt. Now, just as the drinks were hermetically sealed, I'm sealing all the ingredients into this blender and blending it for 5 seconds, further transforming this beverage, creating a velvety texture to your drinking experience. Now, my drinking instructions are simple. Please evaluate when I call time. I want you to swirl for 3 seconds and enjoy over 3 sips. You're going to notice this drink come together in great synergy and transform to bring you new flavors of peach yogurt, lemon lime soda, and grapefruit in the finish. Now, as a last touch, I'm adding 2 spritz of this oleosaccharum spray. That's going to add a nice citrus element and lift all those flavors up. So the question is, why does this all matter? Well, 13 years ago, I was just a baby barista, and now I'm a business owner. And all the experience and knowledge I've gained during this time is also reflected in the hands that have come together to bring out the highest, most intrinsic qualities of this coffee and to truly make the sky our limit. Coffee is transformative. Say it with me. Coffee is transformative. Thank you so much, and let's fly together. Time.
Big round of applause. Frank Law, Be Bright Coffee, Los Angeles, California.